Okay, everyone. So, welcome to a very special edition of Geeking Out About, and I am very pleased to have with me here Julian Montoya, who is a high up executive at the Noble Collection, which is well, I'm sure most of you know out there have seen something by them. So, Julian, welcome to Geeking Out About. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to be here.
So, obviously, your company has become synonymous with Harry Potter, and obviously, we're going to talk a lot about that because it's a big part of who you are now and what you do.
Mhm.
But I'd like to know because, and it's going to sound weird to say this, but it's the truth. Like many people before Harry Potter, I had no idea who you guys were. Um, So explain to me a little bit about what the Noble Collection did before Harry Potter.
Well, there's a good chance that you actually did know who we were. You just weren't aware of who we were. And you probably would have encountered us in a Sky Mall magazine if you ever flew like Southwest Airline or another airline and looked through Sky Mall magazine, you would have seen our the early products that we used to do in there. The company started out importing replicas of medieval armor from Spain. And you would have seen pictures of either a full suit of armor or just a knight's gauntlet, or perhaps some swords that were brought in as well. What the company did was they found that there was this wonderful quality of replica armor being manufactured in Toledo, Spain, and started importing it. And what the leadership did was photograph the items like in people's homes and just really romance the product through beautiful photography. And it folks started collecting pieces of armor, whether it was a gauntlet or, like I said, a full suit of armor for $3,000 that they put either in their, at the entrance or
In their front
in their
room.
study, or likely not a dorm room somewhere, but who knows where they would have placed it. And we started there, and you probably would have seen some of those armor in a Sky Mall magazine if you're flying back in the 1980s. And then what they noticed was the items were open source, so anyone could buy it and import it. The Noble Collection had differentiated itself through the quality of this beautiful portrait-like photography. But if anyone else can import the item, it's not that difficult to be undersold. So eventually they started to make their own armor and their own pieces, swords, and went through the process of actually learning how to do it. And that ended up setting up a lot of success we were able to have down the road as we started manufacturing other prop replicas and other items. It's what they had learned over the years in how do you do a gauntlet or gloves or a sword or a mace. Well, all those processes and that education really set them up for what was to come. The swords was a big piece of their business, and they had done there was a katana that all of a sudden started selling in much bigger numbers than they were used to, and as they started looking into what was causing that, they realized that there was a TV series called Highlander at the time, and the sword was very similar to ours. It wasn't the same one. Clearly, it wasn't. They didn't. They had manufactured a unique sword, but it was very similar to the one that we had made. And there's identifying traits to a katana, so that wasn't that uncommon. And they decided to go ahead and take a license and replicate it authentically, like the one they use in the show, and that turned out to be very successful. The next step from that ended up being Lord of the Rings. New Line approached them. They had seen what they had done on the swords, and asked them to come on board as a partner making collectibles for Lord of the Rings. So we did replicas of the One Ring. We did all of the main swords, Gandalf's staff, and taking what they had learned of their armor into making these products, but then adding things like electronics. Gandalf's light
Right.
staff illuminates. And that turned out to be a very big piece of the business for them. And ultimately, it's what led Warner Brothers to the Noble Collection for Harry Potter. I had been working at Warner Brothers for not that long, but a couple of years, and was familiar with what they had done on the Lord of the Rings sword, because I just thought those were beautiful pieces. And since New Line was a sister company, we were aware of what they were working on from a licensing perspective. So I met with the Noble Collection at licensing show and talked to them about Harry Potter. And to their credit, they got it right away. They thought, yes, there should be something here. And this was before the first film had come out. So, you know, they knew about the success of the books and how popular the franchise was, you know, and is obviously, and decided that, yeah, we agree. We think people would want replicas of some of these, at least the wands and potentially some other items. And the rest is history. From that point on, it really snowballed very, very quickly. You know, the Lord of the Rings is still part of our catalog, and we love those items. But you're correct that the Wizarding World certainly is a big piece of what we do.
It is super unbelievable to think that it has been 20 years since Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out in theaters.
It does. I agree.
And it really was like it was almost an overnight thing for me with your stuff, because like it was literally like before Harry Potter hit, like I said, I really had not heard of you guys. And then once Harry Potter hit, you guys were everywhere.
Well, you know what? We were fortunate in to be the first ones doing the wands. And the company had spent so many years honing its skills on the creative side, on the manufacturing side. And the creative team at Noble Collection is absolutely so passionate about these items that they're making, that when they started making the wands, it was important for them to be as authentic as possible. They worked from, they were able to work with the production and strike molds from the original production pieces.
That's what I've always loved about your wands. Like when you buy Harry's wand from you guys, it's Harry's wand. Like the mold that they make it from is the exact same mold that they made the original wand from 20 years ago for the film. And it's the mold that's still used today. So when you buy Harry's wand today, it's as authentic as it was 20 years ago when it first came out. It's really amazing.
Well, there's so many ones that we've done, well over 70 ones. And
it's worth a 2-page spread in the catalog.
Yeah, and if you've ever been to either the Wizarding World store in New York City, or even to Universal Theme Park, and you see the display of all the wands.
I have seen it. I wanted to go home with it.
Well, one of the things that we find from that is many of the wands are seen so briefly in the film, but they're absolutely exquisite. You know, there's a couple of the Death Eater wands that people might not even realize they saw them on the screen. In one, they're being held in the hand, so you can't really see the pommel, and they're used very quickly in motion. But when you have a chance to see the display, we find that people love staring at the different wands and realizing, oh, I didn't realize.
Charged.
Yeah, I didn't realize Nymphodoros wand had that shape in it, or I didn't realize.
Super guilty of that.
So that's one of the things we love about it. And all those wands, again, we work with the production team. We work with our partners at Warner Consumer Products. They liaise with the production team at Leavesden, and we get the original pieces struck from those wands and all the color callouts to make it look absolutely right. And even the box, as if you purchase one of our wands, you know, the experience for the consumer starts with the box. It's that beautiful material. It's the way it's packed in there, wrapped with that ribbon. Yeah, which is important. It's part of the experience, we think.
Now, since we talked about Universal, I know that do you make all of the wands that they sell at Universal, like including the ones that you get from Ollivanders?
We make the ones that are at Ollivanders as well. I think
Because they have an interactive piece to them, don't they? Like they make certain things happen in
within
the
the
park
park.
when you point at them. So
Correct.
like a special piece that you
Those
guys
are
have.
those are only
signed
sold at correct. Those are only sold either at the park or through their website. The interaction that they have is within their parks, and we manufacture ones for them as well. In addition, they sell our replica ones in the parks, and those of course are ours.
I've looked at your display in the gift shop. I've had to put my blinders on as I walk past.
Right. Well, and the beautiful thing is they're remarkably affordable, right? Anywhere from $40 to $60 for a piece of art, basically, that you can hold in your hands. And the other thing that I think most collectors appreciate is there is a weight to the wand. It feels like there's something special in your hand. It's not just a piece of resin or plastic. They a lot of attention goes into making sure that the wand has the right weight when they're being held.
We'll do a live demo here. So I happen to have, this is Harry's wand made by them. And as he said, there's the beautiful ribbon that covers the box. And then it's this beautiful velvet cushion.
Mm-hmm.
People can't see because I'm too far out of the camera. Let's see if I can get back on camera. Oh,
There you go.
You take it out, and it is, it is exactly as he says. It is not working with the camera here, but it is. It does have some weight to it. It does have quite a bit of it feels substantial. It feels like it should. It holds like it should, like you hold it,
Yeah.
like a wand.
The balance, and there's a reason, there's a way, there's through the manufacturing process how we achieve to get the right weight in there. So yeah, we're very proud of those, obviously, and the fans love them. People love looking at the variety and then selecting one, either their favorite character, but we've had some collectors tell us that they just picked a wand just because they absolutely love the wand. They were, they like all the characters, but there wasn't anything that connected them to any particular character whose wand they just absolutely loved.
And like you said, you watch the show, and so like this is like you can see it's like an authentic Ollivander box. It has the little, tag. It's almost like when you buy shoes, it's like the side of the shoebox tells you what size it is and everything.
Right. That's again the attention to detail that
we
love putting in there. And then what we get a lot of help from both our partners at Warner Consumer Products and the team, the Wizarding World team, in terms of making sure we get the right labels, the right text is on everything. So the good news is they're as diligent about the authenticity as we are. So it's easy when we ask for specific reference. They know they're trying to achieve the same thing we are, so they provide it.
Right. Yeah, and from Harry Potter, things just kind of exploded for you guys. Like,
well,
I guess word got out about like how amazing and successful your Harry Potter line was, and then all of a sudden they were like, the other brands were like, oh, we want to join up, and we want to join up, and
Well, it's an interesting situation with the businesses. We're almost like the last man standing in terms of who's doing these types of products. There's been some great companies that have come and gone doing prop replicas, and we've managed to stick it out. And Harry Potter's had a lot to do with that. I think our attention to detail and the quality of our customer service has really paid off. And then as the ability to work with some other licensors who we've approached them or they came to us saying, we'd love to take the noble approach to products and bring it to your IP. So although, if you've seen the cryptech that we did from the I forgot the film now, but the one with Tom Hanks, the Da Vinci Code. We have the cryptex,
Oh,
and
yes.
it's a functioning cryptex. It works. If you spell the word apple, you can unlock and open it, but you can also change it to any of the 5-word combination. And that's just a beautiful piece that I don't think anyone
Yeah,
else.
I always thought that was an amazing, like, I'm such a big fan of the Dan Brown books, so
Right.
I always thought that was an amazing piece when it came out.
And it looks,
Because
and it's got weight to it. That one really has got some weight to it.
it's very hard when you read that book to visualize exactly what it looks like.
Right.
It's like like when I first read, like, I think when a lot of people, when I first read it, all I could think of was like a bunch of like decoder rings.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
And so when you see it, like, it's like, oh, okay, that's
yeah.
what it looks like.
Yeah, no, we got the chance to work with the piece from production, and then our creative team worked with some engineers to develop the mechanism, because the one inside, obviously the one in the film doesn't function as a cryptex. It's meant to be shot and look right. This one, ours, you if you don't, without the word apple, you can't open it. And then putting in the mechanism so you can change it to any 5-letter word. Interesting enough, you'd be surprised how many of those get purchased by escape rooms around the country to put them.
I can imagine.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. And it's sturdy, so it's a good piece. So that happened, and then we've been having a blast working with the team at Universal on their IP. We work on the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World franchise. We recently announced our Minions chess set, Medieval Mayhem.
I saw it. It's hilarious.
It's fantastic, and
it looks so funny.
That was a great collaboration between us, the Universal product development team, and Illumination Creative, where you start off, well, what's a Minions chess set? Who versus who? And you start throwing around ideas, because ultimately, it's just limited by our creativity. And as we started narrowing in on the medieval mayhem concept, then you get to have fun arguments like, well, how many banana cannons are there going to be? And that was a lot of fun to work on, the back and forth. And there was everyone, I think, deserves a lot of credit on that one, from Illumination, Universal, and of course our creative team, to make that one happen. But we're thrilled with the way that one came out. We think it's absolutely fantastic.
And so that's another interesting thing, is a sort of a subset all its own of the product lines that you work on are chess sets. You sort of specialize in licensed, very high quality, very substantial, very intricate and beautifully designed chess sets.
That started with we did our Lord of the Rings chess sets were absolutely beautiful. They were pewter resin boards, really quite spectacular. And then for Harry Potter, obviously there was the Final Challenge chess game in the first
fell into
first
your
film.
lap. I mean,
that one. Now, believe it or not, that was a lot went into developing that chess set, because you've got those pieces are unique. They're beautiful pieces. And that first one, those resin pieces are quite heavy. And then designing the board, getting that right. And that did very well. But we did a more affordable version of that. Not everyone can pick a few $100s for a chess set. So we found this price point in the $50 to $60 range, which allowed us to bring detailed sculpting, quality deco, quality pieces, but make them a bit more affordable. And that $45, $50 Final Challenge chess set is one of our best-selling items, period. You've done that. We've done some great ones for Batman, the Jurassic Park chess set that we came out with last year.
I love that Batman chess set.
Oh,
especially the one that has the light, that the bat signal that shines.
Oh yeah, that's one of the high. That's the super high end, the pewter one with the metal base. So we've got a few of those that do well.
Those are my someday. That's one of my someday down the road items.
Yeah, we do hear that a lot from folks, that would become like a centerpiece within part of their collection, because it's a collectible you can put out in your living room. The beauty of those, though, is that opened the door for these $50, $60 sets that people love, because it's also a way to introduce kids A, into chess, or B, into collecting, or C, your fandom. So if you love the Wizarding World or DC or Minions or Jurassic, it's a great way to introduce people to it.
You are also responsible for one of my favorite chess set items ever created, the Star Trek three-dimensional chess set.
Right. Yeah. It's a beautiful piece. That was a lot of fun to work on. And I've, I spent a good portion of my career working for Lucasfilm on Star Wars. So I always had a healthy respect for Star Trek, but I never had a chance to work on it until I came to the Noble Collection, and have absolutely really relished the opportunity to get into that universe.
I always find it interesting that even though the three-dimensional chess set appeared on screen for like less than a quarter of the episode, people still
right
are just
well,
absolutely enamored with it.
It's interesting how it ended up becoming
rules are crazy. I read the rules on how to play it. The rules are crazy.
Yeah, there's different sets that are out there that you can find on the internet, and it's interesting how that set found its way, both becoming intertwined with the IP and the franchise and fandom. So we just introduced that set, and the response has been very good, and that was a lot of work with the team over at Viacom CBS.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that's on the higher end side piece with the plexiglass plates for the levels and the detail and the colors, and that one it takes a remarkable amount of time to develop a piece like that, because there are some questions. Are the board, should the checkers be blue or red? Well, what color are they and what show? And what that product was blue, and getting the right sizes of the pieces and the weight. But it's rewarding in that I know how much our creative team loves getting it right.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job on it. It is an absolutely beautiful piece.
Yeah, that one I've had a lot of fun working on Star Trek, and we have some exciting new products coming from them down the road. We have a new diorama that we've developed that has a backdrop that light can come through if you want to, but it's full color backdrop that allows us to bring scenes to life. And we're doing some replicas of the starships in this diorama.
Really?
With the appropriate star field behind it.
Oh wow!
And I mean, it's very affordable. These are in the $24 range. They're about 5-6 inches tall. So that's part of our new collectible treasures, is what we call these new dioramas. We'll be doing
that's really cool. That's a great line. That's a great.
Thank you. We're doing them for Jurassic. We're doing them for ET. We've got some great ones coming for ET's 40th anniversary next year. Yeah, we're working with Universal on
I can guess what one of those is going to be.
Yes, you probably can. And of course, there'll be some our bendy figs, which people have been getting quite a bit of attention lately. I'm
glad you mentioned them, because I definitely want to talk about them. So how did the germ of the idea come about to go from polystone replicas and pewter and all those heavy materials to action figures?
The team had developed a Dobby bendy fig, and they figured Dobby was the perfect character to bring to life this way. Dobby is a character, if you look at him, getting him right is tough. Likeness on Dobby is very, very difficult. You can go full stylized, as you see.
Lego has done a very good job with Dobby over the years.
Lego's done a lot of good job with almost everything they touch, if you ask me. But yeah, their Dobby is very good. So Dobby's tough to get right on the collector standpoint, but they found a format with the bendy fig that really let them bring all the quality that we do into all of our sculpting, plus our superior deco. And we developed this piece, and the initial response was fantastic. And one of the things that caught our team's attention was the conversion rate on Amazon, which was something pretty intense. Like for every 10 people that looked at the figure on Amazon, 6 or 7 bought it, right, which is a big number. If you think about how many things you look at on Amazon, but you don't buy everything you look at. So the conversion rate was so big, they thought, well, there's something here. So they followed that one up with a Cornish pixie, also from from Wizarding World,
Right.
and the response was very good. So the team realized, you know what, we've got some of the best sculptors in the business here, and the quality of our product we think is second to none. So let's bring all that passion and creativity to an affordable priced item. So, and that was the germ of where Bendyfigs came from. And then started to, as we walked into the IPs that were A, available to us, and B, we could add to it, it went beyond Harry Potter into DC, Star Trek. We've gone into the horror area, Wizard of Oz, and you start developing these pieces. Universal Monsters was one of the first ones, besides the Wizarding World, where you could really see what we could deliver. You look at our the werewolf, the mummy, the Phantom of the Opera. They look so good. They're so fun, and that kind of was the proof of concept for us that we can really bring the detail and the deco that we want to this at the $19 price range. We got good response from collectors who loved it because it's packed out. It's a bendy fig. There's no articulation or any of that engineering in there, but we pack it out with a base, and the base is bespoke to the IP. So it's not just a generic round base. If it's Universal Monsters, it looks like a film strip, and it has the IP on it, whether it's Frankenstein or Creature from the Black Lagoon. And if it's the Wizard of Oz, the base is shaped like the Yellow Brick Road. And there's an accessories, whatever's appropriate for the character, and if it's appropriate, soft goods. So Dracula will have a soft goods cape. But it's packed out like an action figure. And a lot of collectors told us that they loved them because it was a fun new format for them to collect. It builds out the characters that they love. And they also thought it was a great way to introduce their kids to collecting, because at the end of the day, it's not a fragile toy you have to worry about them breaking. It's a bendy fig. They drop it, it's going to be just fine.
The Harry Potter one.
Yep.
For those who are watching this is the Harry Potter one. It's really cool. Has a cloth robe.
Yep.
Which is just amazing.
And if you
and yeah, it's got accessories, and it does bend, which is why it's called a bendy figure.
So it does bendy fig. So, and they're fun. If you look at what we did with, I think our Creatures from Black Lagoon one is my favorite one. One of my favorites for the Universal Monster ones. The other one being, I think the werewolf came out fantastic. And then
I love the Dumbledore from
the Harry Potter he does line. Look very good. He's a lot of fun, isn't he?
I really love him.
And we've got some more coming, including characters in their Quidditch robes, which we think people will love. We'll be showing those at the upcoming Toy Fair in New York. And E.T. The E.T. one is coming out absolutely fantastic. I love the way the E.T. one looks.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see the future of this line. The Batman one looks amazing. The Joker looks amazing. Harley. You guys did Nightwing. Almost nobody does Nightwing.
We did Nightwing. Well, there's again, we're fans as well over at the Noble Collection. So and we talk to our fans, and we know Nightwing is. You're right. He doesn't get a lot of love on the merchandise side, but the fans appreciate.
Not at first blush. It's very odd. Like, it always seems like, I guess because the team is naturally structured that way, I guess it's always Batman and Robin first, and then you go into it's usually
the rest of the Bat family.
Like, right. It's almost like the way the TV show and all. So like Batgirl is usually next, and then Nightwing.
Right. Well, but the collectors and fans know what makes him a great character, what makes him unique in the world of comics, and that it was pretty easy for us to choose him up front.
I remember getting the email about Bendy Figs, about seeing their reveal for the first time and thinking to myself, wait, who is this email from?
It is, we've
I had to read the headline on the email again, and I was like, the Noble Collection is doing figures?
Well, again, Bendy Figs. They're not they're not traditional action figures. But the interesting thing to keep in mind is, go ahead, sir.
They're definitely like, they're the first things you guys have really done that move.
In that way, correct, or opposable like that.
Yeah, like most of what you're known for is
Right,
either
display pieces.
right, a replica or a statue
It
or
might have some function, like the time turner. You can rotate that one
right.
from, but you're right. In terms of thing you can pose, these are unique. We've, we're always, I think we're always be known for our high-end collectibles, and it's something we're very proud of and always want to be associated with that. But we've also really expanded into the area of what we call toy collectibles. It's our own
Which I
term.
love. It's a
Yeah,
great term.
thank you. That's
It
the
needs
team.
to be in the dictionary next year.
Well, it's certainly TM'd to Noble Collection. So that one is ours, and that was
needs,
developed by the
needs
team.
to be one of the words that's added to the dictionary next year.
I think it defines that it's a category that we've as an industry have tried to figure out. Well, is it a toy? Is it collectible? How does it fit? If
And
you look
there's so many things that fit in that category now, and there's so many companies that make things that fit in those categories.
Correct. And if you try to pull up, like, NPD is the business source that we use to track how big a business is. Yep. Good luck defining collectibles. They'll have like the toyetic collectibles, like a Funko or what used to be Shopkins or things like that. But like the higher end collectibles, like from Noble Collection, Sideshow, QMX, that's not tracked really by anyone. But collectible is that space that we know it's collectible. It's also got toyetic features, and it's something that a kid, we think, would love as well, or a younger collector. So you've got the bendy figs, our toilectable treasures. We think are great dioramas that people will enjoy adding to their collection. And there's other areas that we're looking to go into. In some cases, I think our chess sets would fall into that area. At $40 to $50, you can play with it. It's a proper game, but there's a collectible aspect in the quality of the sculpts. What a lot of people don't realize is the same sculptors who are working on a piece that cost hundreds of dollars are the same people working on a $19 bendy fig.
Right. I think one of the interesting things is, like, before, the collectible industry and the collectible market was just kind of treated as, like, this little segment in the corner that, just sort of stay over there and do your thing. Right. Don't try to play with the big boy toy industry. And now the collector market has just kind of been shouting out of the corner for the last 4 or 5 years, and now finally they've sort of broken that wall down completely, and now they're considered as legitimate a part of the toy industry.
Correct.
It is. Barbie and Hot Wheels and Lego and all that other stuff. I mean, you can see it at Toy Fair.
Right.
More and more, they had to give, over the last couple of years, they had to give the collectors segment its sort of own aisle.
Its own aisle, its own section. And I think it's fair to say, the secret is out about companies like, Mezco, QMX, Noble Collection. People now, you don't just have to be a collector of any particular format to know who the companies are and what they're doing. We've been fortunate in the exposure to our products between the parks and in the content, and the love people have of these IP, and that we're one of the few remaining companies that still does prop replicas or higher end collectibles, puts us in a unique position, which we appreciate.
And I saw that you guys just signed a Nickelodeon deal as well, which will add a whole new segment of.
We did. We've got bendy figs coming from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love the bendy figs that we're working on for SpongeBob SquarePants.
I have friends who love Avatar who are very excited at because they know, obviously they know you guys from Harry Potter and they like Harry Potter too, and so I told them that you got a Nickelodeon license and you're doing Avatar stuff, and now they're just like, when, where, what?
Well, and I think they'll be happy because that's another one where the licensing partners have been really hands-on in the product development. So we got a lot of input from them, which is great, which we love. And I think it's one of the things that makes the figures look authentic, and we think the fans are really gonna love them. So those SpongeBob, and then another thing that we do very well, and you would see it at the booth, or also if you happen to go to one of the Wizarding World stores, is our collector plush. We do collector quality plush, which is absolutely beautiful, and we'll be doing some of those for upcoming for ET. We're looking at Rugrats as well for some collector plush. And then, of course, our Harry Potter ones that we do with the creatures and the pillows, which we think look absolutely beautiful.
I remember the last time I saw ET merchandise at retail. I think it was
Well,
the last. I think it was the last anniversary, and I think it was at Toys R Us. I think it was all Toys R Us exclusive.
Well, that was a while ago. Well, now we've got the 40th anniversary is coming up next year, and the team at Universal is obviously the film is supremely iconic, holds up to this day. It hasn't lost anything, and they've got some great activities planned to support ET for the 40th, and we're thrilled to be part of that to help celebrate the 40th anniversary of a film that impacted so many people in so many ways.
Now, will you have these new dioramas you're talking about? Will there be a reveal on them before Toy Fair, do you think, or will it be at Toy Fair?
Toy Fair is when we'll have most of them for people to see what's coming up. There's a few that are going to from the Jurassic franchise that people will be able to see before Toy Fair on the new platform, but Toy Fair will be the real big unveiling of the platform and what's coming from it.
Very excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to go back to Toy Fair. Like last year was just like so the pits for me because I couldn't go because they canceled the show. I was so like.
Well, we'll make sure to schedule some time so we can show you what's coming on Collectible Treasures, because I think what we're doing with the dinosaurs is really going to be exciting.
Yeah, like there was just this week in February last year, and I was like, this week feels weird. I don't understand. I'm like, oh, now I remember. I'm supposed to be in New York.
Right. Well, the whole in between that and the licensing show and all the cancellations, it's been certainly challenging. But by all accounts, New York Toy Fair is on in February. We certainly plan to be there. We've got some surprises planned in our booth. So you'll definitely want to stop by for sure.
I will definitely make a point to stop by. So I have to ask, because I've been asking a lot of my colleagues and a lot of people when I do interviews with them, how has the whole supply chain thing affected your business? Like, have you had to change like release windows because you couldn't get you couldn't get parts, you couldn't get product, or like any of that?
Well, we've been impacted less than most companies simply because we've identifying the problem coming early. We're able to get a lot of inventory ordered and in. And another benefit we have is our product isn't necessarily time sensitive. People, if you want a Harry Potter wand, you'll get it now, or you'll get it next week, or you'll get it in a month. If there's a movie that's coming out and we've got product based on the movie, again, if you're a fan, you're used to waiting for, if you want an authentic replica or you want a collectible piece from it, you're fine. If you buy Hot Toys, you're going to wait a year after movie, maybe, 6 months on the earliest to a year to 18 months to get the piece. So
it makes me laugh that Hot Toys is usually grouped under the action figure segment of the toy, because it's that's so far beyond like the $6.99 Batman figure.
No, it certainly is more of a posable statue, isn't it? Yeah, no, agreed.
18 extra pairs of hands and 6 guns and a cloth coat.
Right, for sure. But no, we're not as beholden to time schedules. And again, I think logistically, the team is always on top of how much inventory do we have on in our warehouses? What are the orders that are coming in? When is stuff going to be available? How soon can we get it here? And ordering stuff in early. Sometimes you're just taking a risk bringing in, just ordering some in anticipation. But it's worked out. So our product is out there. It's at retail. It's hitting shelves, and if you're looking at either on our website or on Amazon, the product's in stock, so we're able to ship.
So now, do you have a final date for you guys, since this is since this is gonna be up in the next couple of days, do you have a final order cutoff date where people have to order from your website to get for Christmas?
There is, and I think it varies by item. The good news is if you go to our website right now, you'll get a pop-up window. It'll say, "Can I help you?" That's a live person that will tell you. We'll be able to chat with you live. It's not a machine. We've got some of the best customer service, I think, on our website that's out there, and we've got a great customer service team that's able to get on there and tell you exactly when you'll be able to get it, or if there's other items that are available. And if something for whatever reason, is going to miss a deadline that you have, they can help you find something else.
There you have it. For the pop culture fan in your life, go to thenoblecollection.com now, and you can get something for everyone.
Exactly.
And you should, because it's all amazing.
Thank you. I agree.
Well, that's good. So, yeah. So outside of those dioramas you were talking about, is there anything else you would like to tease for next year?
I think it's worth looking at what's, you'll be excited with what's happening for the ET for the 40th. I think you're gonna love the product that you're gonna see there. More stuff for the Wizarding World. We've got, the third Fantastic Beasts movies coming out in the spring. And we've got a lot of new wands coming for that. And they're quite lovely. I never cease to amaze me how much love goes in the design of every single wand over on that side. There is one particular character wand which I can't say anything about because it's a huge spoiler, but there's one particular character wand that I'm super excited about. And as soon as I saw this on the list of the products, we got on the phone with Warner Bros. Right away and said, okay, you got to talk to me more about this. We got the guidance that we need. So there's one particular we're very excited about. And there's a new deal we've just signed that we'll be announcing at Toy Fair.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's something that we're all very excited about. The only tease is just at New York Toy Fair, there's a big announcement about a major new IP that we're going to be working with that we're super excited about. And I think people will be very excited to see what we're working on for them.
Fantastic. Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
So now all you guys have to do to find out what that huge deal is set your calendar for February.
Correct.
That's right. You have to wait 2 whole months to figure it out, but so do I. So
hopefully you'll think the wait was worth it when you find out what it is.
I have no doubt, if just, like I said, based on your track record, I have no doubt that anything you make is going to be super spectacular.
Thank you.
So I can't wait to see what new IP is going to be the benefit of a partnership with you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was really cool. I want to thank you so much, Julian, for doing that. Julian,
my pleasure.
Montoya, as I said, is a high up exec at the Noble Collection, and he is responsible for making sure that the supply of wands from the Wizarding World never runs out.
Well, and among other things. And then if your viewers get a chance, check out our Bendy Figs. Our Bendy Figs Instagram page is a great way to see which figures we're coming out. We do a lot of, we use that as an opportunity to announce brand new figures and show them. And, that's how we announced our Pennywise Bendy Figs. Where you're going to see we're doing a Billy the Saw Puppet Bendy Fig.
Oh, wow.
So the beautiful thing about Bendy Figs is whether it's from the Wizard of Oz to Billy the Saw Puppet and everything in between.
Now, can I ask very quickly, so about your DC line of Bendy Figs, do you have a multiverse license? Like, can you do Bendy Figs from all the shows and all the animated series and all the movies and everything?
Yeah, we do. There's some Teen Titan ones that people haven't seen yet that are coming out, which look great. But the beautiful, one thing we're mindful of is it's not, yes, they're figures, but it's not an action figure line, right? There's no vehicles, accessories. So we're not trying to compete in that space.
Anyway.
And frankly, you could build an entire company just making characters from the DC universe. So we want to make sure we we mix in the other IPs and the other characters and bring them in. And we've got so many IPs, even within the Warner Brothers relationship, that we want to start looking at. The Game of Thrones, for example, there'll be Game of Thrones Benefigs coming your way.
Build a whole company just making Game of Thrones figures.
Well, you could. But Benefigs is more about, from 8 to 80, there's a broad variety of characters, and we want to go broad with the key characters, and every so often do something that we know the fans want, like a Nightwing is a good example of that. I think Billy the Saw Puppet is another great example. The Nun, The Conjuring, Pennywise. So you'll do some of those, just to go broad versus going too deep in any particular way. Because there's great companies. Spin Master's going deep into the Batman toy range, so we don't need to go into that space.
Very deep. They're going very, very deep.
Yeah, and McFarlane, so they got it covered. So, but if there's, for example, as you know, there's a new the Batman coming out next year. We've got a Bendy-Fig of the Batman coming. But
really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
We're doing that figure will be visible at Toy Fair. You'll be able to see it there. But it's a figure. We don't have to go that deep into it. There's plenty of people that are going to cover that. But we do want the representation of the key characters, just because we know if you're a Batman fan, you want to buy the Batman Bendy-Fig, and you've bought a couple of Bendy-Figs, and you want to add that one to your collection.
Tell me you're doing the Penguin. I need a Russell Crowe Penguin figure.
That Penguin's not in the mix so far. So far, it's not in the mix. Sorry. Again, we're trying to go broader, but
I really I think the designs for that movie are phenomenal. So I'm very excited to see all the different representations of the characters that.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, I dig the new Batmobile.
Yeah, the muscle car.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I love it.
Thank you so much again, Julian.
My pleasure.
And again, you'll have to wait till February, but I promise you, I will show you everything that they're going to have.
And I think they'll be excited when they see it.
Yeah, I'm very excited. You'll be at Toy Fair, of course.
Absolutely, imagine. Yes, sir.
I look forward to seeing you.
Looking forward to seeing you there. It's a deal.
Well, again, Julian Montoya is a high up exec at the Noble Collection, and you should totally go to the Noble. Why aren't you there already? You should go to the noblecollection.com and fill out those last holes in your Christmas list.
Thank you.
You again, Julian.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.